Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Experience Boost Gameplay. My name is Archive.
And I'm Ren.
And we are playing the Cinderella Phenomenon. We are on Rod's path. Not because we were, actively choosing it, but just that's serendipitous. We just happened to end up on this route. But he's a cool guy. We want to help him out, see how things are going.
And as we progress through the story, I'm liking him more and more. I know he has issues, but you know what? Let's be honest. So does Ren, the main girl. So I am not judgy. I think Rod's actually pretty cool. I want to know more about him. He's very mysterious.
This is true.
But they all kind of are mysterious.
They are all mysterious. We definitely want to play through this game more than once. So
yes.
We are helping set up for a ball where Emmeline's supposed to choose her future spouse. Mm-hmm. Dolores in the castle hanging out. Rod finally opened up to us a little bit, he gave us a hint on how we might get our first good deed. So go back, check that out. But for now, we're going to press forward.
Yes. Rod comes immediately to the throne room after his history lessons to start on his dance lessons with Emmeline. I'm only standing here because it is my responsibility as her personal maid to watch over her as she practices. I watch as she steps out of rhythm and Rod sighs at her. Stop going Batman.
That's what he does. That is Rod.
I actually love it. Go ahead.
You're doing it wrong. That's the 10th time.
You're counting? Sorry.
Again.
They start from the beginning, and I'm unable to stifle my own sigh when Emmeline messes up the same step again. This would make the 11th time. I really am terrible at this. Oh, Emmeline, that's how I feel about voice acting, so I get you, girl.
Would you rather have the royal dance instructor teach you? He has more experience teaching than I do.
Oh no, I really do want you to teach me, Rod. I'm sorry that I'm such a slow... I'm sorry that I'm such a slow learner. What kind of noise is that?
It says M. I think it's her name. I think he's just calling her M.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a noise.
You were always good at everything. Nope, that's Emmeline.
I think I like your voice for her better. You were always good at everything. I can't even go low.
You were always good at everything.
You were always good at everything. Singing, dancing, cooking.
Rod can cook?
Rod can cook. Prince Rod cooks?
See, even Rin got surprised.
Oh, yes. Yes, Rod does cook. He's very good at it.
You didn't have to tell her that, Em.
Oh, look at his face. He looks worried.
He's probably more like, you didn't have to tell her that, Em.
Does it really matter? I love bragging about how talented my little brother is. I see a tinge of pink in Rod's cheeks as he turns away. Oh, is he embarrassed? Emmeline looks down at the floor, her smile smaller. I wish I was as talented as you, Rod. I had always thought Emmeline was overly optimistic. She always seemed to bounce back with a smile, no matter how many times I pushed her away. Now I cannot help but reconsider that thought. Still, seeing her like this only irritates me.
Wow, that good deed is seeming farther
Very
and
far
farther away.
Pitting yourself will get you nowhere. Not everyone can be perfect at everything when they first start out. Oh, she's actually saying this now, sorry. I remember when Mother gave me similar lessons. She was always such a harsh teacher, and she hated when I showed weakness in front of her. She made me keep practicing until I had perfected whatever it was she wanted me to do. Failure was never an option. I never had time for self-pity. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself, just try harder. Let failure inspire you to do better. I actually think there's truth to that. It's okay to fail. Like, we see failing as such a negative thing, but I'm like, you know what? Hey, I failed, but that just means I'm gonna learn and do it better.
So our kids like the new Magic School Bus that's on Netflix.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It actually did a really good job. As of someone who watched the original, I like it.
I do too.
There's an episode all about failure, that they're doing some engineering, and it's like it's making failure a good thing. The more you fail, the more you know what to fix and get better on.
Yep, I love it.
Rin, that was.
She's right, Rod. Instead of complaining, I should be working harder. I let out an exasperated sigh and crossed my arms. You always look at your feet whenever you reach the underarm turn. Instead, focus on counting your steps and let Prince Rod lead you. Oh, yeah. I know how hard it is to let someone lead you in dancing.
Yeah, that's true. You do know that, don't you?
I do. I hear Archive all the time. Will you let me lead? Well, do you know what you're doing? Pretty much how it goes. Worrying too much on your next step is what puts you off rhythm. Emmeline stares at me. Can you dance, Rin? I can. Why? Wow, that's amazing. There's nothing amazing about my being able to dance. Her praise makes me embarrassed regardless. Maybe I could learn faster seeing someone else do the dance first. I knew it. I knew she was going to dance. She's going to dance with Rod. Oh, look, his eyebrows went down.
Em, what are you talking about?
It might be easier to copy the steps if I can have someone perform them first. She turns to me suddenly, eyes bright. Would you help me? I am meant to assist Emmeline in any way that I can, but dancing with her brother? Surely a lowly maid should not be doing this. Well, we gotta accept, right?
I think you have to, because you're trying to help Emmeline,
We're trying to help Emmeline. Well, if I do accept, at least I can prove that I am the better dancer than Rod.
Wow.
Oh, that goal keeps just going further away. Oh, boy. Besides, I'm supposed to be listening to Emmeline, no matter how absurd her requests are. If that is what you want. Really? Emmeline rushes up to me and takes my hand in hers. Thank you, Rin. I thought it might be an awkward request, but I'm so happy you have agreed to this. I turned to look at Rod, who was glowering at me.
Yeah, he'll suck it up. I am not dancing with her. She might step on my feet.
Emmeline gives him a disapproving look. Rod, please? Rod eyes me warily. I step toward him and offer my hand. Shall we? Rod scowls at me for a few minutes before finally taking my hand.
Yeah,
oh! I knew it. What is that face? Look at him.
Yeah,
what is that emotion?
They're so good at communicating emotions. So yeah, what is he trying to convey here?
I put my hand
It's
on
like
his shoulder.
sadness in those eyes.
Her hand should not be on his shoulder. It should be just slightly. Sorry.
Yeah.
We have done some dancing. I put my hand on his shoulder and he places his hand on the small of my back. Rod looks at me but quickly averts his gaze.
Ooh,
Is something
his gaze
wrong?
averted.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would ever have to dance with you is all.
Wow. Neither did I. Rod looks at me again. This time he has an uncomfortable scowl on his face. He is not the only uncomfortable one here. We both start dancing, and I mentally start counting the steps. It's been a long time since I last danced with anyone, but the steps come to me naturally. The dance is rather simple. While Rod and I move stiffly, I cannot help but notice his careful footwork. I realize that Rod really is a pretty decent dancer. Not if you guys are moving stiffly. Of course, I would never openly admit that. Why? Sometimes she's like Michael Scott, only he was just, clueless to things, and she is just downright rude.
She's like, recognizes it and chooses not to.
Yeah! When we stop, I hear Emmeline clapping her hands as she looks at the both of us in awe. You really are a good dancer. Thank you so much for showing me the steps. Now I know for sure what to do during that part. I just shrug at her before stepping back into the corner. Emmeline takes her position in front of Rod once more. This time, she has a bright smile on her face. I cannot believe something as simple as that made her so happy. At the end of the day, Emmeline has managed to do the steps correctly. She tells me many times how grateful she is for the help. After practice, I return to my room and retire to bed. I think about how happy Emmeline was. How can such small things make a person so happy? She finally did something good. I mean, it's slightly... Oh no! You stepped out of rhythm again, Rin. But, Mother, this is really hard. A princess never complains. You must perfect this waltz by tomorrow. Otherwise, I will not allow you to play with your dolls for the day. But, if you have time for objections, you have time to push yourself harder. Now, once again, from the top. Ooh.
This is interesting.
Right? What's going on?
I have no idea.
The following days are uneventful. Emmeline continues her dance lessons with Rod. Her steps are still far from perfect, but I can tell that she has improved since my demonstration with Rod. Meanwhile, Rod still chooses to ignore me most of the time, though I have noticed that he is less cold than usual. At least he does not snap at me for no good reason anymore. Though Delora is no longer assisting me, she insists on staying in my room more often. Maybe she likes her dollhouse. She says that there is something important she wants to investigate, and I cannot even guess what it might be. I prefer not having her around anyway. Her constant chattering makes it difficult to focus on anything.
How dare you? I don't chatter. I'm delightful.
Right now, I'm still trying to figure out how I can achieve my first good deed. Almost 3 months. 3 months?
Wow.
Rin! Come
Wow,
on!
she is not a Boy Scout.
No.
Do a good turn daily, Rin. You fail. You fail daily with this request.
Almost 3 months have passed since I was first cursed, but I have yet to complete my first good
Okay, that's
deed.
all you're thinking of.
Because, yeah, she's still just being selfish. She'll learn. She'll grow. I'm excited to see her growth in this. And not, a growth. Never mind. These are my thoughts as I head back to my sleeping quarters after dinner that night. Emmeline excused me long ago, insisting that I go on to my own room before she went to hers. I'm walking down the hallway when I notice Rod heading down a familiar path. I follow after him. Are you going to the Martian?
Ugh.
Rod jumps and turns around. The surprise in his face quickly fades into annoyance. Ooh.
Don't do that again. And no, not today.
Since I came here, I found out that Rod occasionally sneaks out of the palace at night through the secret passageways to go to the Martian. Even now, I'm still confused as to why he goes there. He said before that he had given up on breaking his curse, which makes me wonder why he still visits. It also makes me wonder why he would refuse to break his curse in the first place. Is he okay being the way he is? Or is his curse just really difficult to break? Why were you cursed, Rod?
I am not answering that question.
Why? I cannot help you break your curse if you refuse to tell me anything.
I told you before that I do not need your help.
But I chose you as my partner. You help me and I help you. It is highly likely that breaking Rod's curse would also count for a good deed. There it is. There it is. I was like, hey, good girl thinking about someone else. Nope. Rod scowls at me and crosses his arms.
I'm afraid that this isn't how this works at all.
The sound of footsteps keeps me from coming back with a retort. We both turn to see Alcaster, approaching us.
Prince Rod, good evening. Good evening, Sir Alcaster.
Sir Alcaster turns to me and raises an eyebrow. That eyebrow thing, always with me and him.
Shouldn't you be attending to Princess Emmeline?
Rod silences me with a look. He moves to stand in front of me, shielding me from Sir Alcaster's gaze. Why?
We were just about to go to her. Let's go, Rin.
Rod strides away and I quickly curtsy to Sir Alcaster before following after Rod. I can still feel Sir Alcaster's eyes on my back as I walk away. I try my best to suppress a shudder.
Now, the real interesting thing here is you remember at the Martian there are those 2 former knights that had high honors and then they just left. I don't remember what their names are at the moment, but they don't recognize Rin. But do you think they left because of reasons involving Sir Alcaster? Like,
maybe
he's involved with something they didn't agree with?
But this is Fritz's dad, right?
It is Fritz's dad. Like you said, though, Fritz recognized Rin. He recognizes Rin. Do they have something in their family?
Thing going on? I don't know. We'll find out eventually. Rod and I walk through the hallway in silence. We both stop in our tracks when we hear the clattering of silverware. I look around and realize the sound has come from behind a set of doors that is slightly open. Ugh. The dining hall? Oh no! That's Emmeline's voice. We do not see Emmeline when we enter the room, but there is a dizzying array of cutlery set out on the table. That's not me.
Emmeline?
Emmeline surprises us both by crawling out from beneath the table. She flashes us an embarrassed smile as she gets to her feet, holding several forks and knives in her hands.
What are you doing here? You should be getting ready for bed.
Sorry. I eye the silverware on the table. I thought I could practice before I sleep today. It has already been an incredibly long day for her, and she's still doing this? I watch as Emily puts the cutlery back onto the table in the wrong places.
You need rest, Em.
I will after I practice the placement one last time. She smiles at him before returning to the table. I don't know why a person would need so much cutlery. 1 fork, 1 spoon, and 1 knife should be more than enough for any meal. And all these glasses? If I recall correctly, this one is for water, this one is for red wine, and this one is for white wine. I think give her the correct answers is the nice way to go, right?
Yeah, because if you point out her mistakes, it's just going to make her feel bad, right?
Yeah. That flute is for champagne. The other is for sherry. Oh, right. But there are 2 more. The other's for juice, and the other glass is for dessert wine. The dessert wine glass will only be used during the dessert course. And the juice glass is only used when juice is being served as a course. Oh, interesting. Otherwise, it is placed next to the water goblet. I see. I see Rod staring at me out of the corner of his eyes. His lips twitch before he turns back to his sister. It looked like he was about to smile.
Haha!
Yes!
See,
I did it right for once!
You would have picked that one just fine.
Yeah, well, because that one was the nice one to do.
Well, when it comes to his sister, we should be nice. So.
Yes. Then what are these for? Emmeline points out the group of forks in front of her. You use those every day, Your Highness. You should know the answer. Emmeline points at them as she rattles off names. Dinner fork? Fish fork? Salad? Correct. You know so much about etiquette, too. You're really incredible, Rin. You make a better noblewoman than I do. Even if I told her I was noble, it's not as if she would believe me. I just read a lot about these things. You read and know enough to put them into practice? That's amazing. Especially since you haven't been with us so long. Right, Rod? Rod shrugs. He does not, much to my surprise, disagree. Perhaps you should be my teacher, Rin. I can learn so quickly from you. Emmeline quickly straightens out the cutlery. Now that I think about it, I have come to realize that Emmeline is much more than she appeared to be. It's probably because I am forced to spend so much time with her as her maid. She is different. She is flawed, and not as conceited and more humble than I had originally thought. Maybe I should try lending her a hand. I may not be one of your tutors, but if you need help with your lessons, just ask me and I will do what I can for you.
Rin?
I glance at Rod, who is once again wearing that expression of surprise. I shift my attention to Emmeline once again. You only have 1 month left to prepare, and as your personal maid, I feel it my responsibility to help you in whatever ways I can. Rin. Emmeline wipes her eyes with the back of her hand, and that's when I notice something glistening on her cheeks. Is she crying? You are extremely kind, Rin. Well, she's trying. This is the first time she's really tried.
That's true. It didn't link back to, this could be a good deed.
Yeah. Thank you. I will definitely take you up on that offer. I'm still looking at Emmeline when I catch a faint glow coming from the pendant on my chest. There it is!
Good deed number 1?
What just happened? Oh, what a pretty necklace you have, Rin. Thank you. Anyway, for now I think the both of us would benefit from some sleep.
It's because the first time, like you said, she did something without thinking about it being a good deed.
Mm-hmm. After escorting Emmeline back to our room, I walk out into the hallway in a daze. What was that light?
It seems like you actually managed to obtain your first good deed.
I did not know he was still here. I look down at my pendant, astonished at what I see. Ooh. A piece of the glass slipper? I gingerly touch the new piece that is hanging next to my existing glass slipper pendant. It is real.
You're not too bad after all.
Aw, there's a smile. Did he just compliment me? What? Rod turns away.
Nothing.
He walks away, leaving me alone with my thoughts.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
All right, I think this is a good place for us to stop.
Aww.
Finally got one good deed.
Whoa.
It's really interesting. Maybe we can go a couple more minutes. Let's go a couple more minutes. A couple more minutes.
I'm like, come on! I feel like I should do, good morning, Your Highness.
There we go.
I feel like the Cinderella stepsister
Yeah,
song.
seriously, right?
Would you like to play with us? You want to play with me?
Yeah, come play with us. We'll all have lots of fun.
Love it. Well, please, just for a little while. Maybe I can. Rin, what are you doing here in front of the gates? Mother. Good morning, Your Majesty.
We were just wondering if the princess wants to come play with us.
No, Princess Rin does not want to play with you. But Mother, I do. Enough idle chatter, we must go. It is almost time for your dance lessons. But, Rin, do not make me repeat myself. Yes, Mother.
Chills.
I guess we could stop there.
All right, you got to the backstory. We're back in the hall. We like to stop in this hall.
We do.
This is the hall of transition. The hallway takes you from one place to another, and so we leave you here, hoping you join us again as we journey to our next destination in the next episode. But actually, really enjoying again where this is going. It's some good stuff. We actually saw some actual growth in her. She started to believe that someone else could genuinely be good. And so she decided to do good for herself as well. So yeah, I guess we'll see how this is going. Got one piece, got a month left to the ball. I think the ball's gonna be a deadline.
I'm excited for the ball. All the best things happen at a ball, like all the conflict.
This is true. If fairy tales have taught us anything, ball is where it goes down.
Balls.
Anyway, guys, if you like what you saw, consider subscribing to our channel. Leave us a like, leave us a comment what you think, how we can keep improving on our subpar voice acting, but we're trying really hard. We're having a good time. It's just all for fun. So I hope you're having fun with us. But I've been Archive.
And I am Rin.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.